Hello, Wanderers. Welcome to a brand new Crusader Kings 3 Game of Thrones roleplay following Victarion Greyjoy, the Lord of Dragonstone. And indeed, we will get into how Victarion became the Lord of Dragonstone after we just take a moment not only to appreciate the models that the modders have added to this game and indeed some of the sub-modders as well, but also the armor and the character models and everything everything that the Game of Thrones team has done for this game. I appreciate you because you have made something pretty incredible with this mod. In fact, I think it might be the best Game of Thrones game that you can play, and I'm sure many of you agree. But indeed, let's pop out of here and take a look at Dragonstone itself. Now, you might be wondering how Victarion is the Lord of Dragonstone, and if you haven't seen our Exiled Stag series, I do highly recommend you go and watch that so you can catch up and learn how Robert lost his rebellion and then yet somehow was able to retake the Stormlands and in fact King's Landing and end his enemy and nemesis Rhaegar. Definitely worth a watch, but if you want to just dive right into this one, you are more than welcome to, because we are going to be doing some interesting things here playing as Victarion. Now, there are some minor changes at the end from where we left off in that last season, but I'm just going to kind of give you the TLDR for those of you who didn't see that one. Essentially, as I said, Robert lost his rebellion. Rhaegar was maimed but survived. He ended up rebelling against Aerys. Aerys was killed by Doran Martell. Rhaegar became king, but he was a dark, brooding, almost obsessed version of Rhaegar. And eventually, Robert used that opportunity to come back from exile with Ned Stark, who had been in exile with them. They launched rebellions. They ended up getting into King's Landing. Robert faced Rhaegar himself in single combat, killed Rhaegar, killed Jaime Lannister, and killed Sir Arthur Dayne, the Sword of the Morning, as well, though he suffered some grievous wounds from it, as you can see. Wounds which he is still suffering several months after that, and you can see he's taken to the drink and to the milk of the poppy because those wounds have not gone away. He is not doing well from what happened to him when he was cut with the sword Dawn there. So yeah, Robert not doing particularly well. We've got a king in the north, King Eddard the Wandering Wolf, though he wanders no more. We've got Princess Arianne of Dorne. Doran Martell was killed by a crocodile. And then, of course, the new king is Viserys III, a puppet king of Tywin Lannister, who, as you can see, is looking a little gnarly after he got maimed in a battle. So yeah, very, very interesting situation. There's a lot more going on to it that I'm sure we will get to as things go along. But yeah, Victarion, he is the Lord of Dragonstone. Now, I went and looked up a little bit more about Victarion before starting this series, because he does play a fairly big role, especially in some of the later books. But it's been a while since I read them, so I didn't really remember too much about what he was like as a character. And I realized that he was a very loyal person to his brother Balon. He hated Euron, but he was very loyal to Balon. And Balon in this timeline is still alive, still the king of the Iron Islands now, independent Iron Islands. And with that, I realized that Victarion wouldn't be calling himself the king of Dragonstone. He would have remained loyal to his brother Balon, and he would serve him as a vassal. So that's the position that we find ourselves in. We are the Lord of Dragonstone, and we did capture the Cracklaw Point, but we are not an independent king or anything like that, because I think that Victarion, despite being kind of a dumb, brutish warlord, he did have an Ironborn sense of honor, and that has led him to be a loyal vassal of his brother Balon. He was even loyal to Euron. Even though he hated Euron, he was loyal to him. So Take that for what it's worth. Now, you will notice something rather interesting about him. You might have noticed it already. We are not worshiping the drowned god. Well, that's not entirely true. We still worship the drowned god, but our religion is slightly different. We are of the drowned flame faith. The drowned god rules the deep, but his halls are lit by Relor's fire. His faithful believe that only by flame and flood together can a soul be tested. The sea drowns, the fire cleanses, and only the iron-hearted rise again. So, for those of you who are aware of Game of Thrones and Victarion himself, you'll recall that towards the end of the books, he ends up fishing a red priest out of the sea, a man named Makoro, who ends up being called the Black Flame. And I've added this character to our court, and I've kind of gone along with that, even though we've diverged timelines. I imagine that in this timeline, Victarion still ends up finding Makoro. And so we have him in our court here, and he has become, essentially even though Victarion was considered to be a very devout follower of the Drowned God, Mokoro's influence on him towards the end of the most recent book started to turn him towards the Red God. And so I've kind of created this interesting religion, the Drowned Flame religion, that is kind of a dual religion with the Drowned God as the true God, but Relor is playing a bigger and bigger part in Victarion's faith here. So yeah, I see it kind of happening a similar way to how it happened in the books. So we're going to see what goes on with that. Now, everybody, we're really the only one who kind of worships this religion. I've added Mokoro. He is a red priest, but I wanted to make him our religion here so that he could be he could serve us as our red priest here. So let's take a look at that religion really quick, because that's going to be an interesting part of the story here. So you can see that it is an organized Relor faith, but we have the ways syncretism. So the Drowned God is yet another aspect of our own gods. So this allows us to continue with the raiding and all of that. We've added in the astrology tenet from the the ways of the Drowned God. There we go. Struggled with that one for a little bit. So we've added in astrology, but we've got the human sacrifice, the heart of fire, the healing flames from the Relor faith. So yeah, that's should make things rather interesting. The rest of this, you can just kind of take a look at it here. But yeah, should be rather interesting, I imagine, to see how this plays into it. Are we going to convert like some of our people, some of these lands? That's a good question. We will have to see. Very briefly, we'll go over some of the other characters in our court. We do have a wife, Lady Gudrun Goodbrother. We have two children, Sigrid Greyjoy here, and Uragon, our newborn son. And yeah, that's most of our family there. We've of course got plenty of people in our court that we're gonna get to see probably over the course of this episode and future episodes here. But yeah, where do we start? Let's go and just get the main stuff out of the way. I'm gonna grow with authority focus here. I think that probably makes the most sense for Victarion. We do need to fill out our councils, so let's see who we've got. I'm not going to get any of these Cracklaw people as our Castellan, so I think we'll get Lord Ralph Kenning. So we've got some of these Ironborn lords have taken over some of these like the southern bits of Cracklaw Point. Some of the Cracklaw men have essentially bent the knee, but we did take some of their land. So Ralph Kenning here is going to be well, actually, it probably would make a great marshal. But we've got Lord Dunstan of Longbar who can do a pretty good job at that as well. Anybody else? Andric the Unsmiling? I do like Andric the Unsmiling. He's a cool character. We might need to change his house name and coat of arms. You'll remember this character if you've read the books. He plays a fairly important role. If you want to make a suggestion for Andric the Unsmiling's coat of arms and things like that, then just let me know down in the comments below. You know who could be decent? Alistair. I mean, this guy is actually quite intelligent. He was an Ironborn scout. And even though he's a little bit of a drunkard, he does seem to have pretty good spread of stats. And that is good for a Castellan. So I think that's what we're going to put his position as. We'll get him started on overseeing the realm. Probably. Yeah, let's get him on that. All right, we need a Chancellor. No, we don't want to get a Brune. Like I said, no Cracklaw people. So I think we'll get Vic on Pike. Yeah, this guy's a pretty dashing and, you know, a bit of a daring, roguish Ironborn here. Bastard son of House Kenning. So we got another Kenning here. He would make a good Chancellor, so let's get him in that position there. We need a steward. Alistair's a good steward. We don't have too many other great options for stewards, but we just can't trust any of these Cracklaw people. So let's go with maybe I'll reassign Alistair because he's actually okay at that, and then I'll put, let's get Ralph Kenning. Yeah, let's just put Ralph Kenning as our Castellan here. He is a lord, so that's probably a better suiting position for him. We do need that Marshal. I think that we could go with Lord Dunstan here. I think that's probably worth it. We've got Old Wayne Dagon. He's a good man, but I think that we'll probably want to assign a lord to that position just to keep them all on our side. We do need a spy master. Don't really have too many great options for spy masters here. All these Cracklaw people. We could go with Vikos, a voice of the abyss. Yeah, this is a very a witchy Ironborn woman here, blind as well. She doesn't really get along with either our wife or Mokoro, because she is very devout to the drowned god, and I'm sure she wants to convince us to put aside our worship of the drowned god, or of R'hllor. But I think we can. Yeah, do we want? Yeah, let's get her as our spy master. Kind of want to sway her over to our side just so that she doesn't kill us or anything. And then for our admiral. We've got a couple options. Old Wayne. You know what? This guy's, he's 40 years old. He knows what he's doing. Get Wayne as our main guy. So we're going to go with Emboldened Raiders here to get that boosted of the raid speed and the loot capacity. So that's going to be all good for that. Do we need to do anything with any of these people? No, I think that we're good on the rest of these. You know, I wouldn't mind getting you to convert faith. Yeah, you know what? We could try it. Yeah, let's do that. Is that Old God's faith? What is this? Old Gods of Winter and Wood. Interesting. Guess they got a little bit of Old Gods going on down there in Cracklaw Point. Mostly Faith of the Seven. There's a little bit of these. The Faith of the Pure. The presence of the Old Gods and the Drowned God has tainted the faithful. For when the Father spoke to Hero upon the hill, did he not say that the lands of Westeros were for the Andals and the... Ooh, okay. Interesting. I wonder if that's a new one. Faith of the Pure. Faith of the Blessed. These are the ones that follow Baelor the Blessed. Interesting. Is this the Faith of the Pure? Is that like a new version of the Warring Star? Maybe not. Regardless, nothing to worry about there. And let's see. We do need to send for a Maester. Let's get one. And we do have a few holdings of the wrong type. We've got Black Glass Port and Gargoyle's Hook. We will need to give those out, so I'm going to probably give them out to some people in our court. We do have a couple people from notable houses. We've got Egon Drum here. So House Drum is obviously a notable house, as well as I think we've got somebody. Let's just take a look in our court. I think we've got somebody from another notable house as well. Oh, Hector Pike. So this guy is from House Pike, but he is a bastard. He's 20 years old though, so he might be suitable. Hector Pike. He's the son of Quellen Harlaw. He's got 3 brothers as well: Heron, Harag, Harlon, and Hector. So interesting, all H names there. Yeah, let's can we get a wife for him before he does that? Let us look for a wife for you. One that is not currently married. Yeah, you can take a Cracklaw woman as your wife. And I think that the other spot is gonna go to, do we want to give it to Alistair? He is our, yeah, you know what, let's give it to Alistair. We gotta find him a wife as well. Arwen, Myrna? Sure, Myrna, that seems fine. All right, let's get time rolling on here so we can get those marriages done. The new Maester of Dragonstone, Maester Thorald. A little bit of a madman, I see, but he's good at his job. All right, we'll do it. There we go. Okay, so we've got the marriages we need so we can give away those little bits of land. So that was gonna go to Hector Pike. Let's give you some, let's grant you a title. Well, Black Glass Port, so you can be Master Hector Pike. That seems suitable enough. And then the other one was gonna go to Alistair, I believe. Yeah, so that seems reasonable, I would say. Granted to him, so you can get gargoyles. Oh. There we go. That should handle the basics there. We do have a ward here, Orwin Waters, young Crownlander who ended up coming with us after the siege of King's Landing, which the Ironborn obviously took part in, and then we took Dragonstone and all these lands and stuff as well. So, yeah, I think that's kind of pretty much the main things here that we need to sort out. So, what's the situation? Well, we're a loyal vassal of King Balon here, who seems to be doing some raiding over in Essos, which is good for him. But I did see that Robert Baratheon, despite being still horrifically kind of ill and not, doing too well after what happened in King's Landing, he is holding a grand tournament in Storm's End. Now, I'm not going to be joining a grand tournament, but if all of the lords of of the Stormlands are going to Storm's End, then this might be a pretty perfect opportunity to raise everybody as raiders and maybe go do a little bit of raiding on their lands. So that is absolutely what we're going to be doing here. All right, so let's get on with the raiding here in Sharp Point, the seat of House Bar Emin, I believe. This is House Bar Emin. Yeah, it is indeed. We had an interesting discussion about House Bar Emin when we were in the Discord, and if you aren't in our Discord, make sure to take a look in the description down below. You can join it pretty easily by clicking on the link down there. Flames and screams surround me in sharp points as my army plunders for valuable good and prisoners. The acrid stench of burning flesh fills the air. This is Victarion to a T. Among the wreckage of small doll lies caked aside. I guess we can give the doll to our daughter. I don't think we care too much, but I mean, maybe we. There's nothing to say that we don't, I suppose. All right, let's go and get some more raiding done here. Gotta be a little bit concerned about the forces of the Stormlands coming in. More fire and blood here. The settlement of Sword Peaks. Lord Jonlinbar Emin here is yeah, we have many of his quivering subjects here. Bring me bounteous plunder. That's absolutely what we're gonna choose for that one. Let's go and raid this as well. Surprised he doesn't try to bring out his troops to come and try to fight us off, but seems like they are gonna be unable to do so. We'll go and raid the city of Triskel here. That should get us a little bit more loot. We'll probably see the Stormlander army coming. I assume they would come over land if they are going to come for us here. But we'll need to be a little bit careful at the very least. Gregor Dine joined our court. Interesting character here. Oh, because of our regent? Curious. Why is our wife bringing in strange cracklawmen? We were bestowed royal favor by Balon. Hey, our brother, recognizing us as his most loyal of brothers. All right, let's get the rating of Sharp Point done here. Yeah, doing a nice job as a Ironborn raider. Let's go and see what this is. Pay ransom. Oh, you want your child back, do you? You're gonna have to pay for him. We'll send him back there. I suppose we could have sacrificed him to Relore. That would be an option. Now we'll do that with the lords. Maybe not just like a kid. But certainly if we capture any important lords or anything like that, that will be something that we might consider. Offer ward. It would praise me greatly if you could personally see to Rhiannon Greyjoy's education till... Alright, I mean, fine. We'll just give the child to our wife, I suppose. Alright, we raided Stone Dance. Gotta be a little careful here now as we move down, but we've still got... Oh yeah, look here, they've got their army coming up here. Oof. 4 days left, 3 days left, 2 days left, 1 day. Let's get to the sea as quickly as we can. We should be able to make it away before their army raises. Yeah, just in time. Oh, look at that. Good job, Victarion. Time to go home and drop off our loot. Ooh, that was a close one. But we made it. We did make it. No worries there. With 141 extra gold. Not too shabby. Who are these raiders? The Raiders of Gargoyle Hook, Master Alistair. He's gonna be doing some raiding himself. I mean, by all means. I wonder if this point, do we want to go and try to raid... Do we want to go and raid High Tide? House Velaryon? This guy did kill Euron, which is kind of crazy. And he killed lame Lothar Frey as well, who is an interesting character too. Huh. Do we want to go for that guy? I mean, how many troops are you packing over here? Got 3,000. You know what? It might be worth it. I'm briefly tempted to go and raid House Velaryon. We will have to be a little bit careful though, because they're gonna have a lot of troops that they can bring up from the Iron Throne here. All right, the kid's here. That's fine. Can we even raid this? Are we raiding it? Doesn't look like it. Because we got a truce. We do. Damn. Alright. I think we can... There is something we could do, which is a war of revenge. But I don't know if we would do a war of revenge for Euron. I didn't like him at all. Who could we go and raid? Could we go and raid the north? Possibly. Could go and raid like Tyrosh or something like that as well. Man, they don't actually have that many troops. You know what? That might actually be not a half shabby idea. Go and raid Tyrosh while their troops are otherwise. Oh, there's a lot of money here. I am not opposed to this idea, especially considering their troops are about to get annihilated in a battle, it seems. So we should be able to go and get some decent raiding done on their city. All right, the Ironborn are coming for Tyrosh. Victarion Greyjoy, gonna make a great name for himself. How much loot can we fill up? 744. Well, we might be able to get enough of that here in just this one city. I mean, 94 is 100. I mean, not in this one city, but we'll be able to get a lot. And I don't think that they're going to be able to stop us, not with their troops suffering pretty heavily here. So let's go and let's take all their money, take all their loot. Oh yeah, there we go. We raided the Dye district. Captured Ilyana Eventide. There's a Stormlander here for whatever reason. Mistress Shiera Dazbek. Interesting. In any case, let's continue with the raiding here. I want to build up as much money as we can. I don't have a set idea of what we're going to do with that money. I suppose that depends on what happens when Balon dies. He does have Theon as his heir, but Theon is, you know, he's not the Theon of the books because he was never Ned Stark's ward. But I don't know if that would make him, I think that would probably make him worse. I think Ned Stark was a good influence on Theon. I think if he stayed with Balon and stayed in the Iron Islands the whole time, he'd just be Theon, but more Ironborn, and that's not necessarily a good thing, so... Let's continue with the raiding here. I mean, we do, you know, we could claim to be the rightful... I don't know, you know, I think that when Balon dies, there's gonna be a King's Moot. And we could put our name forward, potentially, if we're still alive, so... Alright, I'll accept that. Just bring in some more cash here. Any wars going on that we should be aware of? It doesn't look like it. There's a tenuous peace, I imagine, in the kingdom, or in Westeros right now, considering that the war that ended with Rhaegar's death was not that long ago. What, like a year ago maybe now? Nice, more royal favor here. So that's just something that to like keep in mind there. So nice, got some more prisoners. Go and just let's raid everything. We can fill up with 701. Who are they fighting? They're fighting Pentos. Oh, Pentos doesn't have that many troops either, so we might want to go in and raid Pentos as well. Oh, they lost that war. They have no troops either. Well, they could try to stop us, but we will kill them. Our 4,000 Ironborn are going to, I'm sure, be able to handily take down any of their troops that they send up against us. Our raid speed's good, but I do want to keep boosting our raid speed higher and higher. Preferably if possible. Alright, we raided the temple of the trio, so let's raid this. And then let's continue from there. What do we got here? Another ransom. I will accept. And we shall get this raid done. Troop count's still looking decent. There's a little bit of money to be had here in the disputed lands. Not opposed to that. they're starting to build their troops back up. So that is like the slightest of concerns. And these guys he's fighting a rebellion, so it might be worth it just to leave Tyrosh and then just go and immediately hit Pentos on our way. Because they're not going to have a ton of troops to rise up against us with. So we should be able to pull off something decent there. Man, Balon is just giving us all the favor. A harsh judgment. Following the death sentence of a lowly thief, I asked my ward what Orin thought. He responded that the sentence was far too harsh. The just trait? Yeah, you know what? I'm fine with this kid getting the just trait. Brownlander, Herculean, black hair. Interesting. Make of that what you will. His mother was a Stormlander too. Let's head on out. New red temples established. Lordship of Dragonstone gained religious construction for 5 years. Ooh, that's pretty cool. All right, let's go and raid Pentos as well. Making some enemies here, but you know, the Ironborn are the Ironborn. You know, we're gonna do what we. Ooh, there was a bunch of money over here. Oh, there's a lot of money actually. Oh. Rich places. Oh, very rich. Yeah, okay. No wonder there's raiders over here. Let's go and make some of that ours. Balon's being attacked by some rebels here. Peasant revolt. Who is this? Who is this guy? Drow God? Kind of a foolishly. Oh, what? Robert just died? Oh, okay. Robert Baratheon just died. Robert the Raging Storm? Yeah, okay. Robert Baratheon. While he was doing that tournament, he died. Okay, that is an interesting turn of events. And we do have now a Storm Queen, Maya Baratheon here. The legitimized bastard daughter. He didn't end up having any sons, which puts Stannis in an interesting position. And I will note that Stannis does follow the Red God, because as you'll see in his court, well, there is a very familiar face here as well. So Stannis does have claims to these lands. I don't know, considering that it's you know, Robert's bastard daughter ruling the Stormlands. Not only that, but now the Stormlands, you know, its alliances are gonna have broken down. You know, Ned Stark over here had already had a falling out with Robert at the end of the war. You know, no longer an alliance with Dorne. Ooh, okay. Things are gonna get pretty spicy here, I imagine. I've gotten an idea in my attempts to align Vikos to my interests. Perhaps I could argue that it is in the interest of all Ironborn to support me rather than any other Drowned Flame ruler. Ooh, perhaps I should. Let's see. Possible outcomes. Learning challenge. I don't think we're gonna be able to do a learning challenge against her. Man, Robert Baratheon died. I mean, what do we do? What do we do with that? Oh, we've been rescinded as the marshal. How dare you? How dare you, Balon? Come on, we're most loyal. You were bestowing all the favor upon us. How could you do such a thing to us? Man, I am very curious. Leave a comment down below what you guys think should be done in the wake of Robert Baratheon's death. What do you guys think of all of that? Because yeah, that is a very interesting situation there. We're gonna fill up on loot really fast here. Honestly, I think that this is a good place to end it. We're gonna probably continue with our raids in the next episode, but I was not expecting Robert to die so soon. I knew he was in a rough spot from those wounds and from everything that had been befallen him, you know, after killing Jaime and Rhaegar and Arthur Dayne, you know, and losing his purpose in life essentially with Rhaegar's death. So yeah, I mean, Westeros is going to be in a very interesting position here. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you want to support the channel, I am going to have a link to the Audible free trial. It's worth it if you are somebody who, you know, maybe hasn't really been able to get into books recently. They do have the Game of Thrones books on there. Highly recommend the Last Kingdom books as well. And yeah, it helps the channel out if you sign up for that free trial, even if you cancel. So please consider checking that out. Other than that, Wanderers, I think I will just have to say thank you so much, and I will see you in the next episode.